My name is Ronnie Cruz, and this is Path of the Network Marketer.
All right, welcome back to the show. In today's episode, we're going to talk about trusting your instincts, trusting your gut, and jumping in. That's right, jumping in. Now, before we get into all of that, I do want to remind you that it is day 96. That's right, it's day 96, episode 96. So go ahead and hit that plus button at the top of the app so that you're following the show and that you don't miss anything on this road to 100 episodes. And of course, everything that's coming after that, right? I'm working on a retrospective, a series that's going to highlight and just kind of talk about everything that I've learned in this 100 days of podcasting. So again, make sure you're following the show so you don't miss any of it. Okay, so jumping in and trusting your gut. This kind of actually ties to my episode from yesterday when I talked about missing the opportunity of being part of Amy Porterfield's book launch club squad, book launch squad. It's a mouthful, but I'm really regretful of missing that opportunity, and I actually didn't listen to my gut. What can happen is, okay, so when you're kind of in this crossroads and you feel this kind of nervous anxiousness. Anxious isn't necessarily bad, right? Like that's those butterflies, that's those feelings that you feel when there's something new or when there's an opportunity that's put in front of you, right? And the when it can go one of two ways. It can go negative or it can go positive. And the mindsets that contribute to it going in either of those directions is how you're feeling about that particular opportunity, right? Yes, you're anxious about something, but you can be anxiously excited, right? You can be anxiously excited for the opportunity and the new things that you can learn and for those fun unknowns, right? And generally, typically speaking, historically for me, I've really just developed the habit of leaning into that, right? Leaning into those unknowns and being excited about discovery and learning. In this particular example with Amy Porterfield, however, I leaned into the negative side of that anxious feeling, right? I leaned into the what ifs. I leaned into the negative what ifs and told myself how it can go wrong and created anxiety, created fear, right? And so that anxiousness went to the negative, and I didn't listen to my gut. And in fact, I retreated from what my instincts were telling me, and then I lost out on the opportunity, right? This is the kind of very layman's way of describing, at least the way I understand how instincts work for me, right? How trusting gut works for me. I mean, like I tell people all the time over my career, trust your gut, just listen to your gut and lean into that nervousness. And here I was, the other day when I was about to sign up. Well, it was just today actually, when I was about to sign up for that book squad, I didn't lean into it at all. And so that's what I wanted to tell you today. I mean, it goes with being decisive, but that decisiveness really kind of rests on what story you're telling yourself in terms of the story you're telling yourself about the anxious feeling that you're having at that moment, those butterfly feelings that you're having at that moment, right? Are you telling yourself a positive story of anxious excitement of the new discoveries and the new things that you're going to learn? Or are you telling yourself a negative story about that anxiousness and the things that could go wrong and feeding into the fears of being unworthy and not being good enough, right? And so you really, really be mindful of the anxious feeling. It's neither good nor bad. It only becomes negative or positive when you attach a particular story to it. And so listening to that gut is all about attaching that more positive side of the story so that you can lean into discovery, into learning new things, and then therefore expanding yourself, right? That's the only way expansion happens. It doesn't happen when you retreat, right? So listen to that, develop that skill of creating a positive story around that anxious feeling, and it's gonna be easier and easier and more natural to listen to your gut, listen to your instincts, and lean into it, as opposed to always retreating from it, right? And then just like yesterday, you can be more decisive. So that's it. I wish I had listened to my gut a little bit better in that particular instance, but hey, you live and learn, and I share that lesson with you. So that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you tomorrow with a fresh new episode. Until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.